Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. René Meulensteen has encouraged Manchester United to build their team around KOBBIE Mainoo amid continued speculation surrounding his long-term future at Old Trafford. The 61-year-old, who formerly served as Sir Alex Ferguson's right-hand man, previously worked as a coach in United's youth system and has a keen eye for emerging talent. He played a role in nurturing players like Marcus Rashford, Paul Pogba, and Jesse Lingard. In an interview with Discasino, he described Mainoo as brilliant and noted it would be very sad if the club allowed such a gifted academy product to depart. KOBBIE Mainoo looked brilliant when he stepped into the senior Manchester United team from the youth setup, Meulensteen said to Discasino. He has his entire career ahead of him, and the team should do what they can to keep him. I'd be very sad if they decided to sell him. At the end of the day, they don't have another young and energetic midfielder like him. He has proven that he can play at that level. Mainoo, 19, has been a rare positive for the Red Devils during a difficult period. Bursting onto the scene in 2023, as one of the most promising midfielders in the country, he concluded his first full senior season with an FA Cup victory and a spot in England's starting 11 at Euro 2024. His contract runs until 2027 with an optional extra year, and efforts to secure a long-term deal have hit a standstill. As the club faces increasing financial pressure and seeks to stay within PSR guidelines, it's believed they may consider cashing in on Mainoo if negotiations fail to move forward. But Meulensteen thinks parting ways would be a serious misstep and has called on United to prioritise resolving the situation. I wouldn't be hasty to let him go, but it's clear that he has fallen to the wayside. The situation needs rectifying, the Dutchman stressed. It may be as a result of financial regulations that they are looking to explore a deal with clubs for him. But to me, he looks like the kind of player that you would build that side around for years to come. Mainoo carried his impressive momentum into the early stages of the 2024-25 season, picking up where he left off. Unfortunately, his progress was halted by injury. He missed the final weeks of Erik ten Hag's tenure at United due to a muscle issue and has not featured since early February. Chelsea expressed interest in signing the youngster during the January window, though they never tabled an official bid. Meanwhile, Real Madrid are reportedly monitoring the situation closely. The La Liga side is thought to be interested in bringing Mainoo into their growing English contingent, which already includes Jude Bellingham, and could soon feature Trent Alexander-Arnold. United, for now, are still planning with Mainoo in their future plans, and there's hope that a fresh deal will be signed in the coming months. Still, the club's fragile financial position may complicate matters. As he's an academy graduate, any potential sale of Mainoo would be recorded as pure profit, on the books making a large offer difficult to dismiss, particularly as the club tries to stay compliant with Premier League spending rules. Eric Cantona was in the Old Trafford stands for the latest Manchester derby and did not look impressed. No wonder. He would have had more fun watching seagulls follow trawlers. As the clock ticked painfully, but mercifully, towards added time, there was a break in what counted for play, and Omar Marmoush sought refreshment. And pleasantly, he shared his drink and a smile with Alejandro Garnacho. Lovely. Without going full Roy Keane, it was a moment that encapsulated this dreary engagement, a load of mates from Cheshire's coolest places having a Sunday afternoon run-out that was not to be taken over seriously. Quite how there were 4 yellow cards in a match that lacked any sort of edge is something of a mystery. The result was more damaging for Pep Guardiola's side, who, with 7 games remaining, are facing a real struggle to finish in the top 5. And if they take this form and approach into their remaining fixtures, they will not be playing Champions League football next season. Ruben Amorim's side might have Champions League football next season, and although they performed with familiar ordinariness, at least they were not given too strenuous a time ahead of the first leg of their Europa League quarter-final in Lyon. But they really should have done better against a City team whose fundamental problem this season has been a likelihood to concede goals every time an opponent stages a counter-attack. And in football, that really is what you call a fundamental problem. This is a team that still has plenty of the ball but has forgotten how to defend. Opened up by a basic move, they were lucky not to be in serious trouble inside a minute when Ruben Dias was left in Garnacho's wake and brought the Argentinian down on the edge of the penalty area. A covering teammate just about meant a yellow rather than a red, and replays showed it was a tight call not to give a penalty. But at the back for City, it has been amateur hour on far too many occasions. Fortunately for Guardiola's side, United are not exactly the best equipped team when it comes to exploiting defensive vulnerability. Garnacho fell over his own feet when presented with a relatively simple chance, and Casemiro turned a good shooting chance into a pass to Ederson. Not that City without Erling Haaland, of course, looked any more potent, especially as Guardiola had opted for a very narrow system. And with Ilkay Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne and Mateo Kovacic pushing a combined 100 years, there was an element of walking football about the City midfield. It really was a dreadful contest, a game with very few redeeming features. There was the odd moment of quality, but it truly was the odd moment. 2 or 3, tops. There was a sweetly struck Marmoush volley beaten away by Andre Onana and a decent effort from Joshua Zirkzee that brought a camera-friendly save out of Ederson. But that was it. Zirkzee had replaced Rasmus Højlund, who went virtually unnoticed for 70 minutes. It has gone without saying for a long time that Amorim desperately needs high-quality striking reinforcements this summer, and Højlund's performance here was yet more confirmation. But Højlund was just one of a bad bunch, a bunch who looked as relieved as everyone watching when John Brooks whistled an end to the dullness. Cantona must have wished he had not bothered. Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes made his frustrations with his teammates clear during the first half of Sunday's Manchester derby. The Red Devils saw several of promising situations spoiled by poor decision-making, much to the annoyance of the Portuguese. First, he took aim at Alejandro Garnacho after feeling the Argentine didn't play a pass quickly enough as United looked to get something going. Moments later, Patrick Dorgu was the target of Fernandes' annoyance. Former United skipper Gary Neville was on commentary duty for the game. He suggested Dorgu had no excuse for straying offside, while also siding with United's number 8 over the Garnacho clash. Bruno is having a go at Garnacho, and he is right, Neville said during Sky Sports coverage. The pass is too slow and it's behind Fernandes. Elsewhere in the first half, the often demonstrative Fernandes was seen remonstrating at United striker Rasmus Højlund for his movement as the home side probed for an opener. The two teams went in level at the break, with Fernandes himself testing Ederson in the City goal, and neither team managed to find a breakthrough in the second half either. It was a relatively subdued affair, all told, with the visitors visibly missing their top scorer Erling Haaland. Injured striker Haaland is unlikely to play again in the league this season. Omar Marmoush led the line in his absence, but neither the Egyptian or his supporting cast managed to get much going. The closest either team came to scoring was in United's first proper attack. Garnacho was brought down by Ruben Dias, but the offence was committed just outside the penalty area and Fernandes failed to take advantage from the ensuing free kick. Kevin De Bruyne was playing his final Manchester derby, having confirmed earlier in the week that he would be leaving City in the summer. Ahead of the game, former England midfielder Leon Osman pointed to the Belgian's ability to do it all himself over the years. You may feel like you've done everything you can and played well, and then you give Kevin De Bruyne half a yard and he's stolen the game from you, Osman said on BBC Radio 5 Live. He's done that single-handedly at times. Yes, he's had an amazing array of players around him at Manchester City, but he is the player that provides that spark. He does stuff that not everyone else is capable of.